Just one day after Natsume published their final Famicom game, we have another Natsume game. And Tokkyuu Shirei Solbrain is really representative of what they're going to make for the Famicom from this point on. It's all technically impressive action platformers. The game was based on the then most recent TV show in the Metal Heroes series. But its series wasn't related to the other Metal Heroes series game we saw recently, SDKG Blader. Metal Heroes has a few different continuities. The official English title of the series is Super Rescue Solbrain, and Solbrain is a team of individuals working for the Tokyo Police Department who fight crime and deal with disasters in their metal suits. Despite the show being about a team, you only play as one of them in the game, Nishio Daiki, the leader of the Solbrain group. A super robot has taken over the city, and of course Solbrain are the only people who could take it out. There are 7 stages in the game. You always play the same first and last stages, but the other 5 stages can be played in any order. You get your pick of them after you've cleared the first stage. As you're playing, A jumps and B punches, and if you keep mashing the punch button, you actually do a combo with a few different styles of punching. As you beat up enemies, they'll sometimes drop these little P squares. Those grant you points. But rather than being straight up score, they're spent at platforms you find throughout the game to get a bonus. There are 3 different versions of this platform. The P doubles your attack power. Enemies require a lot of hits to defeat in this game, especially the bosses, which go on for way too long. Doubling your attack strength will definitely help you there. Naturally, the red cross will fully restore your health, and this is the only way that you can restore health in Solbrain. Finally, for a really high price, you can buy an extra life. You'll also find small white crates as you play through the stages, and you can smash these open to find items. It could be one of these P bricks which you punch over and over for more points, or a grenade that blows up and damages you. But what you really want to find are the Greek letters. When you punch these, they alternate between Alpha and Beta, and collecting one of them goes into your 3 slots at the top. When you fill in all 3 slots, you get a helper robot that will also attack when you do. For every possible combination of Alpha and Beta, there's a different helper robot. That actually makes it a little bit difficult to cover all of the options, or even remember which one is the best one for a given situation. There's just too many options. Though I did find the flamethrower to be the worst of them, mainly because its behavior was really inconsistent. Sometimes it just wouldn't shoot at all. The robot can be hit by enemies, and it will eventually be destroyed. The stage design is the real high point in Solbrain. They each have their own unique spin, like this stage where gravity periodically reverses, or here which puts a twist on the classic dodge a spiky thing while riding an elevator level by adding a robot shooting at you from below. The bosses seem interesting, at first. They have strong attack patterns and can be an interesting fight. They just also have health bars that are way too large, like requiring 30 to 40 hits to defeat them too large. Some of the bosses have patterns where you can only hit them 1 or 2 times in their attack path too, and that's assuming they bounce back when you punch them, which sometimes they just won't for no good reason, and you'll get hit anyways when you attack. It makes the boss fights drag on way too long. They wind up being pretty boring. And if you happen to get killed by the boss, that means you have to do the fight powered down, which just makes everything worse. At least you have infinite continues, though continuing does take you back to the stage selection. Needless to say, Solbrain is pretty well regarded by Famicom fans. And this is one of those weird cases where they're well aware of the NES version stripping the license away. I think I found just as many comments about Shatterhand in Japanese as I did about Solbrain itself. Unfortunately, as a late Famicom release, copies of Solbrain are pretty rare. You can expect to spend about 7,000 yen on a copy if you want one. My take on Solbrain is that the action on the stages is really good. And as complex as the power-up system is, I think having a lot of options winds up working in the game's favor, even if you wind up just memorizing a couple that you like. The biggest flaw are the bosses, which really feel like they decided to make difficult just by increasing the hit points, rather than upping the complexity. But that's only one part of a really impressive game. I'd call Solbrain one of the hidden gems of the 8-bit era, but I think at this point its qualities are well known.